So let's just start talking. Hi, I'm Peter. I own a 2012 Mark 6 GTI. It's that pretty blue that you see around. It wasn't my ideal color going into it, but this was the one that I found and the one that I kind of fell in love with. So I went APR stage 2 within the first week. That was upgraded intake by APR, APR's downpipe, APR stage 2 tune, and then right away when I did that, I blew my diverter valve, so I got a Go Fast Bits DV Plus, and that handled all the boost fine. But now the car has a little bit of a different story. So I still have all the bolt-ons minus the downpipe and the stage 2 tune. So I am on a stock tune right now, just with APR's intake as well as the upgraded diverter valve. And I also have upgraded ECS brake lines, so they're the steel lines. I used to have a full Stop Tech kit, and that warped on me because I had drilled and slotted rotors on my daily and I didn't really think that through too well. I got the fun plaid seats that everyone loves. The leather buckets is one of those things that almost no one really gets because the base seats are so cool. Another thing I love about my car is the steering wheel. It's such an overstated steering wheel for what this car really is. You have the aggressive like flat bottom steering wheel, and I really like it. Nitpicky things. So this just started to hit me. On the bottom of the steering wheel, there's a little GTI badge that has chrome on it. But over time, if you like just gently brush it, that little chrome will come off, so the plastic's starting to show right now. So the volume knob has a power button on it. And when you turn the volume knob, it also orients the power button, the power emblem itself. That's really fucking annoying. Something I just love about the GTI in general is it's such a great platform. It's such your typical like young boy racer car, and that's why I fell in love with it. Like I do fall into that realm of typical GTI owner, but I think you can always make them a little special. Very easy power.
All right, what's up? We're in Peter's Mark 6 GTI. I'm gonna try not to get into an accident. Oh, the clutch is so easy. The WRX that I had that little spring back on the clutch where it kind of pushes back up against your foot. Sort of like a compound bow, you know what I'm kind of talking about? This has that too, so it's pretty intuitive. I really like the GTIs actually, because they're, I think, the best. Like for the money that you spend, you're getting such a good car. Like the platform is so great, you can tune it. You can pretty much do whatever you want to.
So
they're also really quick. Like the first time I drove a GTI, I was fucking blown away. Like these cars are so fast. Way faster than my WRX was. So this is a roll in fourth.
Up a hill.
Up a hill. That's pretty great. The flat bottom steering wheel is like my favorite thing ever.
I do love that steering wheel.
This is in third. The brakes are awesome. Wow, those are good brakes. Infotainment, let's talk about that. This infotainment system actually is pretty great. In my WRX of a similar year, I had the no navigation or whatever it was, you know, but this system, it seems pretty good. I mean, the speakers in this car, I've heard them before. They're pretty great. I won't play them for copyright reasons, but I like the speakers and infotainment system, and the gauges. I wish they were the digital cockpit gauges in the new one, but obviously that wasn't out around this time, so you can't really complain about things that weren't there. Tunnel. Oh, this car sounds good too. So this is the last generation of the GTI, and they just recently in 2018 had the refresh, the 7.5, which changed the headlights and the tail lights, a little bit of a facelift, you know, the normal things when you're refreshing a car. That car a new GTI 7.5 is, you know, it starts at about, I think 29, but that means these cars are worth a bit less now. So this is a great used car deal if you're trying to get a pretty quick, enthusiast, sporty used car.
Good straightaway.
That turns pretty good. Not a whole lot of understeer. I didn't push it that hard. That's pretty great. I like that. The competition, like the WRX and the ST in this category, the interiors are complete junk. Everything is plastic and from the base model, but with these cars, with the Volkswagens, interior, they really step up their game. Things feel a lot more expensive. Usually it feels like an Audi interior, and I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense. One thing I really love, again, about the interior is, like, really everything you touch feels high quality. They know exactly where you're going to place your hands, and they know where to put the money, which is great. I mean, I love that. Again, there is some stuff that feels cheap, but that's not stuff you're going to touch all the time. There is some cheap hard plastics, but that's what you're going to expect with any car in this price range. These seats are great. I actually would much rather have these seats compared to the leather seats. And I wish the Golf R, Volkswagen, I wish you put the Heritage seats into the Golf R. All right, let's do a pull. That's fun. So I haven't felt any torque steer in this car yet, which is a very good thing because I'm not a big fan of torque steer. There's also a huge debate between Volkswagen people if you should get these cars in a stick or in the coveted DSG. Here's my take on it. I mean, the DSG is a great transmission. It's super, super fast. It can handle a lot more power than the manuals can, because you have to upgrade the clutch. I would go with the manual in the GTI. After driving this, if you upgrade to the Golf R, I think DSG is probably a better transmission for that car, just because of the characteristics that it has. But if you're not doing too many upgrades to the GTI, I would just get it in stick. You're gonna have a lot more fun on those tight twisties. The shifter, well, it is more fun than DSG, I think, in this car. It feels a little bit soulless compared to other shifters. It just feels disconnected. A lot of other people have talked about that in the Volkswagens, and it's true. I mean, it's not a bad shifter, it's definitely not, but you definitely don't get as much feel as you would in, you know, let's say the ST. I feel like the ST shifter is a pretty great shifter. It is notchy, which I like. There's not a lot of play in gears, well, there is some.
That's because I need a rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, this car has almost 90,000 miles on the clock, and it feels really good. So for comfort-wise, we're about to go over this big bump in this covered bridge. It's really soft. I mean, it's not too soft that when you go around a corner, there's a ton of body roll. There definitely is noticeable body roll.
Absolutely.
But it's really not that bad. Yeah, so the suspension is soft, but not too soft that it takes away from its handling abilities. If you're going over some bumps on a pretty bad road, it's awesome. This is a very comfortable car. It's also pretty quiet in the interior, especially compared to the WRX that I used to have. That car had a lot of issues with like rattling on a lot of plastic parts. At 180, it's a pretty optimistic speedometer. No, we're all good. Thank you, though.
We're just filming a video. Okay.
Appreciate it, though. Thank you. Friendly Vermonters. Another great thing, this car is extremely easy to rev match. It's so intuitive, this manual. As soulless as it might be, it's so easy to drive. And I actually like that a lot. One day, which is hard to believe, you're going to get out of your big wing and aero phase, and you're going to want something that doesn't scream, pull me over. And I think this car does that so well. It looks great. Even as subdued as it is, it looks great. You are missing, you know, the aggression, as I said. But the car overall looks just so good. I mean, if you're out of that phase where you want to be the biggest boy racer in the town, then this is what you want to get. We'll honk at her.
Probably so confused.
Alright, what do we learn? So this car for the money is a bargain. You get pretty decent acceleration, really great braking, great suspension for daily driving and ripping around in like the back roads. You get a very nice overall interior feel compared to the competition. You get a manual gearbox, which honestly is the most fun you can have in a car. And you get tunability, which I think is one of the most important things when it comes to an enthusiast car. The ability to do what you want to it, especially for a good price. APR makes really good stuff. Cobb tuning makes really great stuff for this car. So, you know, what else could you really ask for?